Hello and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. Thank you for tuning in. What we have here then is a P121 digital piano plus the stand plus the fancy triple pedal unit. And these have been in the kitchen for about a month, so long that my family have been using them like a bit of furniture, as a shelf, putting things on top of them. And this will not do. Today we are going to unbox it, set it up and play it. I also want this video to have some informational and educational value for those of you that might be considering buying your own digital piano. So as we do the unboxing, I'll discuss the most important features to think about when choosing a digital piano. We'll try and answer if this is the perfect piano for me and a good option for you too. So we have a lot to do today. Before we get started, a quick word from my sponsor. This video is brought to you by Skillshare, the online learning community with thousands of classes on a multitude of very interesting topics. If you are curious about learning piano, keyboards or music production, then you'll definitely find a lot of this over on Skillshare. Personally, I'm doing something completely different to further my career. I'm taking some classes in marketing and also working on my graphics design to have some better logos and thumbnails on this channel. Premium membership costs less than $10 a month, but if you use the link in the video description, then you'll get 2 whole months completely free of charge. Plus, Skillshare will know that I sent you. That really helps me out. I appreciate it. You can, of course, learn an awful lot in 2 months, so why not give it a shot? Thanks. Full disclosure, I got this instrument at a discount from the artist relations people over at Yamaha, but all opinions expressed today are my very own, and I will be honest with you about what I like and what I don't like about this instrument, and we'll also talk about some of the competition. Okay, let's get on with this without any further ado. So as we're unboxing this then, I'll tell you about the features that are most important to me when I'm choosing a digital piano. So yeah, the most important things when I'm choosing a digital piano, and it might be different for you of course, but some of these should be the same I think. The first one is that the keyboard action needs to feel as close to a real acoustic piano, a grand piano as possible. That means it needs to be the correct size and it needs to have the correct response. If you can get a hammer action keyboard, that's perfect because it's got the right kind of weighting and the right feel. As you press the keys, you can really get the feeling of the hammers flying and hitting the strings as they would do in a real acoustic instrument. So that's the first thing. The second thing that's most important to me is the feel, or the sound of the pianos, of course. You need a great piano sound. That's pretty obvious. And it's a bonus if you get some variations of the pianos as well. I would like, for example, to have a nice upright with some character, maybe a mellow grand, a dark grand, a bright grand, honky tonk, of course. And if you get a nice Fender Rhodes electric piano sound, that's really great as well. So the core piano sound is what I want, but I'm not interested in the slightest in basses, in strings and these fantasy pad sounds, guitars, choirs. Nope, not of any interest at all. And I can see this is upside down, so let's turn it around. What else do we have? Well, in a piano for the home, a digital piano, for me, it's really important to have built-in speakers. I want something I can just press a button, power on and start playing without needing to hook up additional amplifiers or anything. And this one has built-in speakers, which is one of the reasons I chose it. Now, for me, I need a compact size as well. I don't have very much room in my studio. This is the space where I want to put my piano, and a standard 88 note won't fit. The 73 will, I hope so. I'm a bit of an idiot and I didn't check the dimensions if it will fit or not, so I guess we'll find out later in the video. So this one is obviously white. I wanted something a little bit more striking than your regular black pianos. It's nice that this was available in white. So that's another thing that's important to me. If it's stylish or not, I do want it to look nice in my studio, or I might actually put it in the living room here. I also need it to have a music stand. It's important for me that it has a matching furniture style stand as well. Even though this is a compact piano, you can buy the accessory stand which we have over there as well. Anything else is important? Yes, the connectivity is important. I would hope this has professional outputs, although I'm not sure it does, to be honest. We'll check that a little bit later on. And the connectivity to the PC is also important to me. I want to be able to connect this to my PC with USB or with MIDI. So this was a pretty quick unboxing. What do you think? I think this is a stylish looking thing. All plastic as you would expect. But I'm loving the size of this so far. Really happy with that. Let's put it down there. Not too heavy at all, but it's still got a pretty nice solid feeling about it. Now we have some other goodies in here. Whoops. So it appears to be the music stand that... Oh! I've actually got some ideas, some crazy ideas about wrapping this in like a vinyl wrap to give it a real funky and distinct and unique look just for me. Look at that, that's pretty nice. The action feels really nice actually, a very nice solid feel and a good response. And a very nice weighted feel, and I like the way it bottoms out as well, without being too noisy. This is a graded action, meaning it's got slightly more resistance and weight in the bottom. Yeah, I can feel that straight away. And in the top, that's really nice. Why don't we take this opportunity to very briefly look through some of the pianos in the Yamaha range to see where this one fits into the product lineup. Here is the P series product page. Let's scroll down and look at the models. There isn't that much actually. The P255 at the bottom here is discontinued. Then we have the P45, which Yamaha say is the most affordable digital piano from Yamaha. Not going to disagree with that, but here we have the P121 and P125. These two are identical. The only difference is the number of keys. I have the P121 obviously, and then we have the P125, which is a pretty popular piano, I do believe. Then stepping up, we have this P515, which has the lovely wooden keyboard. Also, it has a higher end sound engine. You get not only, let's just have a quick look. I'm not sure what the difference is with this one. Yes, when you step up to this one, you get the Yamaha CFX, as you get on my Modi X, plus the Bosendorfer Imperial, and you get the natural wood X keyboard, which is lovely. Let's take a quick look around the back and see what the connectivity is. Not too much to report, actually. We have USB to the computer. This one, as far as I know, is only MIDI. It doesn't transport audio to the computer, which is a bit of a shame. We have a sustain pedal, a special proprietary connector for the triple pedal. This is good. We have line output on conventional jack sockets, which is really good. And we have the power input, that's it. So to be brutally honest then, if I compare this to my old Yamaha P120, which was a superb digital piano that I owned for about 5 to 10 years. I sold it about 3 years ago. That one cost twice the price, but it had a much more higher quality feeling, much sturdier feeling than this particular unit. That was an 88. I can show you a little bit of footage of that one right now. There we go. Okay, it sounds good, not as full. Again, the only thing I can compare with is my old P120, so sorry to harp on about that. These speakers are much smaller than what we got there, but this is actually, the volume is okay. Sounds a bit tinny. But for practicing, it's just fine. And you're just hearing the sound through my lavalier microphone right now as well. So we'll hook it up to the computer, probably in a separate video, and I'll play you a medley of covers or something fun. Looks like I have a basic sequencer built in so I can record my performances. That's nice. Metronome as well. We have some rhythms. That's cool. The piano sounds then we have, let's go a bit closer so you can really see what we're doing here. Okay, piano is selected now. We have 3 variations. I can see indicated by the lights. Actually 4, so with nothing lit, and then I have 3 variations. That's nice, that's a mellow grand. Yeah, I like that. Kind of rock grand. Let's check out the electric pianos. That's really good. DX7. Excuse the playing, but I'm on my knees here without any kind of sustain pedal. Oh, a nice Wurlitzer. That's great, really like that. And here's your fantasy type pad sounds, which actually sounds pretty decent. Yeah, great. Organ, actually there's no point really continuing because you're going to have pretty horrible audio experience through my lavalier microphone and these speakers. So what we'll do is in a separate video, I'll take it over to the computer and we'll do a playthrough of all of the sounds and I'll improvise some songs, some fun covers or something. That'll be a lot better. Let's get rid of these ugly boxes and then I'll tell you what you get when you pay a bit more for a digital piano. Actually, this one we need to unbox, so I'll leave it there. Okay, so I would consider this to be a entry-level to mid-range digital piano. What do you get if you pay a bit more money? Well, the first thing is you're going to get a better keyboard action. This one is fully plastic, but as you go up through the price range to more advanced pianos, they have a better, more realistic feeling hammer action, and even when you get to the flagship models, they'll have keys with wooden cores. Now the other thing you get as you go up in price is more advanced piano emulation. The actual sound engine becomes somewhat better with a larger variety of piano sounds as well. But this one has a great basic core sound, so for me, no reason to pay any more. As you go up in price, the speakers and the amplification system gets a lot better, giving you a fuller sound. And generally, as the price goes up, you get a more professional, rugged feeling instrument with a better build quality as well. Also, you'll notice that they cram in a lot of nice to have extra features on the more expensive models, none of which that I need, and that leads often to a more complicated user interface and even a screen here on the front panel. This one doesn't have any screen at all, which I think is really great actually. I want my piano, my digital piano, to be as minimalistic as possible. Okay, I'm going to unbox and assemble this stand right now. Whilst I'm doing this, let me read out for you the actual specifications for this instrument, because I've been guessing a little bit until now. So let's get this sorted out once and for all. Whilst Mr. Handyman fumbles around pretending he knows what he's doing, let's go over some key specs. It's the pure CF sound engine, as Yamaha call it. It's a sample of their very own CF 3S 9-foot concert grand piano. It's not the CFX as you get on the Modi X. If I say that later in the video, then it's a mistake. The polyphony is 192 notes. That's how many notes you can play at the same time. That should be more than enough. 24 voices on board. There are modes like dual, split and duo available. There's a 2-track recorder. It does offer MIDI over USB, but not on the 5-pin DIN ports. There are 73 keys. Yamaha call it their graded hammer standard action, GHS. There is a smart Pianist app, careful how you say that, but only for iOS as far as I can tell. You can use the app to edit the pianos and play along with songs when the chords are being displayed and fun things like that. There are 20 bass and drum beats. The speaker and amplification system is 14 watts, and the weight, if you're interested, is 10 kilograms or 22 pounds. Okay, I'm liking this a lot. This looks really nice, I think, and putting the stand on added a lot of heft and weight to the unit, making it feel a lot more solid and stable, which is great. A couple of things I noticed. The stand is really nice quality, with metal inserts for all of the bolts. That went together really nice. I thought I got it wrong for a little while, but it looked like it was okay. A couple other things I noticed is we have headphone sockets on the front, which is really great. We also have underneath, I noticed, if I can show you, there are also speaker ports pointing downwards, so it might sound a little bit fuller now than it did when I had it on the table earlier on. You also get these extra feet that you can put on if you want to give it more support. This is what you use if you push it back up against the wall, but I thought that it actually made it stick out a bit too much from the wall, so I probably won't use those ones. We'll see, I might put them on later. So that just fits in there kind of nicely. I think an 88 would be a bit tight to go in this space as well, which is what I mean, why I actually prefer, in many cases, a slightly more compact piano. Yeah, I think it could use those extra stabilizers, couldn't it? Oh dear, the black piano stool is not a great look, although I guess you could say it matches the black keys at least. I almost forgot, we've got to do the pedals as well. I was about to play Moonlight Sonata and realised I couldn't really do it without the sustain pedal, so let's unbox this one now. Whilst we're doing this then, I will address the question I probably get the most from students wanting to learn the piano. They'll often say to me, is it okay to learn with a 49 key or a 61 key keyboard, or do I really need to go and get an 88 note keyboard? And my answer to that question is usually, you'll be just fine with whatever you have. If you really are learning from scratch, learning the very, oh, this is nice, the very basics, then you'll be just fine with actually 49 keys. You can make a lot of great music on a 49 note keyboard. In the very beginnings, you'll be learning where the notes are, how to do the hand coordination, how to play scales, melodies, chords, and so on. And you can do that equally well on a 49 or a 61 as you can on an 88. Oh, in white as well, look at that. Pretty nice. Wow. But what I would say is that the thing that's more important than the number of keys, I think, is the response of the keyboard, the response of the keys, the action. If it feels like a real piano, otherwise you're going to struggle if you do eventually have ambitions to play a real piano sometime in the future. If you're used to playing a very lightweight synth action 49 or 61 note keyboard, then it's going to be a bit of a struggle as you transition to a real piano, because it's much more harder to press the keys on a real piano. So yeah, you can certainly get started in the very early days, just with whatever you have. Get something cheap and budget to see if you like it. No need to spend a fortune in the very early days, but then eventually, after a couple of years, you might want to progress to something with a proper weighted hammer action keyboard. We'll let Felix fix it, put together the pedal whilst we answer the original question. Is this the perfect piano for Woody, and perhaps for you too? Let's do a quick pros and cons, starting with the pros. It's good looking, even the girlfriend likes it. The compact form factor is a plus. The piano sound and keyboard feel is very good. There are very few unnecessary features which I like. The extra sounds are surprisingly good. The speakers and the volume are fine. And the accessories are excellent, actually over my expectations. The cons then, well, it does feel a bit plasticky compared to my previous P-series pianos, but it's not flimsy, and I guess it's par for the course at this price. There are no 5-pin DIN MIDI ports, and there is no audio over USB. In summary then, it's not perfect, but given that I needed a 73, it really limits the options, making this the best piano on the market for me right now. To be honest, I would have treated myself to a more high-end feeling piano if one was available, but none were in this compact form factor. Is this the best piano for you then? Well, this is hard to say. Obviously, it depends on so many factors. But if you have a tight space in an alcove, for example, or if you're transporting this piano regularly, then it's a good choice. It's much easier to carry this on public transport than an 88, or fit it into the boot, that's the trunk, of your car, or put it on the back seat. If you can go bigger, then I'd recommend doing so, as you get so much more choice and even better value for money. Make sure to check out the other brands like Roland, Korg, Casio and Kawai. But I've always liked Yamaha digital pianos, and after all, they do make acoustic pianos, which counts for something in my book. Okay, still not sure what all of these pedals do, to be perfectly honest, but never mind. I do like the fact that they bolt onto the keyboard here and they feel extremely solid and add even more heft and weight to this. Now we've got that tip over protection, the extra stability, and the pedals on. This is a really solid feeling unit, no doubt about that. Now, let's go back to our piano variation 2, the dark grand. I'll just play something quickly. You're only hearing the sound of the lav mic, so don't expect miracles here. People are always asking me to play this. Takes a while to get used to the touch of the keyboard. Not quite right. We're not going to do any more today because, well, not any more playing anyway. I'm going to save that for a separate video because this one has been going on for long enough. Plus, my sponsor is very particular about us not using, as content creators, not using any copyrighted material, so I don't want to run any risk of that or take any chances. So all that remains to do is to close out the video. Talking of sponsors, a big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Please do consider supporting the companies that support me. I'll see you again next time. Cheerio. And finally, let's find out if it actually does fit into the studio or not. That's a pretty tight fit, and once I got it in there, it was really hard to get it out again.